I don't even want to do an introduction. Like, I've come on live and I'm like, now I've got to speak. Yeah, my head is kettled, guys. My head is kettled. But before we start, make sure hit the like and subscribe button. Yeah, if anyone wants to, honestly, today, I don't know what's going to happen, how long this stream is going to be. Um, I feel like a mess. I've got no trim. I'm wearing a hoodie. I look crazy. Arsenal's got me crazy. I feel crazy. Everything feels crazy. This club, you wait weeks for them to come back, right? International break, you're like, oh, let's get that over with. We've got Southampton next. Oh, the Carabao Cup didn't go well, and then boom, we come back. We come back to this Arsenal Football Club. What are you doing to us? Genuinely, this is a question. Why? Year after year after year. And there's so many things wrong. And I feel like this season, I have been deluding myself. I have been deluding myself at times. I have been going against my better judgment. Most games, let's be honest, guys, most games this season we have not enjoyed watching. Let's be honest as Arsenal fans. Let's be honest for once. We don't enjoy most of our games. We don't enjoy it, right? But we've been top of the league. We've done all right in the Champions League. You know, we won the Carabao Cup final. We were still in the FA Cup. So you know what? There's no reason to complain. No reason to complain. And then you look at the situation now with this team. My God, Carabao Cup, right? International break. And then you come back to this. We came back thinking, you know what? Fair enough. We lost the Carabao Cup final. It can happen. We don't really, it is what it is. We did care. I wanted to win it, but you know what it is. We can get over it. Just beat Southampton. Just beat Southampton. And you know what the worst thing is? Before we was doing streams, Julian's not here today, but no, we were doing streams with Julian, and I'm saying, bro, St. Mary's, why have I got PTSD? I'm not confident. I'm not. Why am I not confident to go play Southampton away? Let's just be serious, guys. Honestly, Arsenal Football Club, I said, I don't know what angle, how long this is going to take, but we've got so many things to get into. Mikel Arteta, Mikel Arteta. At this point, you're having us on, mate. You're genuinely having us on. You've been here about 7, maybe even 8 years. I don't even know. I've lost track. Right? You've been here for too long, right? And every season, you seem to find a way to let us down. And you know what the worst thing is? Let's be honest again. If Man City were not in Pep was not self-sabotaging this season, we would be in serious problems in the Premier League as well, right? But luckily for us, we've got a 9-point lead. 9-point lead. And I swear, that's the what you have to bring me that. You have to, regardless of anything else, you must bring me that. So Arsenal, be careful. Genuinely be careful because you're playing with us now. Every single year. We are waiting. Us fans are deluding ourselves into enjoying this rubbish football week in, week out, just on the premise, just on the hope that we're going to attain something good this season. I've gone from quadruple charge to treble charge, and now I'm on a double charge, right? And I don't know if that's happening. But anyway, you know what? Let me get this up, man. Let me get this up here. So today, this was it, right? This was a situation, all right, in terms of the game. Southampton 2, Arsenal 1. And you know what? Before the game, I looked at the lineup. So I'll start obviously with the Arsenal side of things. I looked at the lineup, guys. Max Dowman. I was excited to see him play. And again today, Max Dowman has shown us that he's probably our best player. We're all up there with the Rices and Sakas. Genuinely, what a kid. The amount of times he was trying to carry us today was unbelievable. The driving of the ball, the composure, tight spaces, everything, right? But all around him, what is going on? What is going? Because if I want to stick with the positives, I can. And Dowman was one of the few, right? But if I talk about the biggest negative And I said today he's gone up the list of my, I don't even want to say the word, but my bad list. That's what I'm going to call it. I've got an all-time Arsenal bad list, right? And this fella called Kai Havertz, you have risen even higher than before. This guy might be number one. He might be the worst player I've seen play for Arsenal. Genuinely, this guy sucks, right? I know he got his assist in the end, with the Enquiries or whatever. But this fella, he is genuinely bogus. That's the only word I have for him. I've had it up to here with Kai Havertz. We signed him to play midfield number one to replace Shaka. Couldn't do that. So we've ended up playing him up front. He can barely do that. He plays in midfield. Again, can't do that. There's so many moments, right? I've clocked his game so much, right? Where luckily today he actually won a foul in the first half where, he's half-heartedly trying to win the ball and then he's just waiting for a challenge. He'll just fall over for no reason. You're like 6'5". You're 6'5". You've got nothing about you. Nothing. Genuinely a bogus player. How can you not have a position at the age 26 as a footballer, right? I don't know what he offers. Today's midfield was Norgard, Odegaard in the first half. And then when Odegaard came off, it was just Dalman. Havertz, as I said, I don't care if he got the assist in the end for Gyökeres. One of the worst players we have ever signed. I promise you, I've genuinely, him, if I make my list of the worst ever Arsenal players, he is definitely top 5. He's chilling with Shokrodan Mustafi. That's the levels we're at with Kai Havertz at this point. So for me, I don't understand how people can watch him, right, and delude themselves into thinking that he's some sort of special player. He is genuinely, honestly, pound for pound, he's probably the worst signing we ever made. If you think about the transfer fee, you think about the wages, you think about what he's offered. Mate, honestly, if we can get 30 million for him in the summer, just get rid straight away. Big up Mustafa in the comments here. Relying on Max, he is 16. This is on Mikel. Listen, we'll get into Mikel Arteta. We will get into Mikel Arteta 100%. But first of all, I'm going to stick it on these players because these players, once again, Arteta, despite how Arteta is what he is, but these are the players that are playing at this point. So yeah, we'll get to Arteta. Don't worry. You know my opinions on Mikel Arteta. Mustafa here says White has to get sold. Listen, in the summer we're going to talk about the rebuild. White, unfortunately, probably Ben White's going to be on the chopping block as well. In terms of the names, Martinelli not good enough, 100%. Mascara today, honestly, he tried like Gabriel. I don't think it was his greatest game. He came off with a little injury. And I think Mascara tried to do what he could, but that defense today was shaking. We'll get into that for sure. And Southampton have Mikel's number. Listen, it's not just Southampton have Mikel's number. They have Arsenal's number. I don't know what's going on. I came into this game with PTSD. I'm thinking, what is going on? What is going on? Before this game, I'm thinking, Southampton away. Why am I feeling sketchy? But I remember the 4-0. I remember the 3-3 or whatever it was, Ramsdale game. Like, was it 3-2? I can't remember. Whatever game, we didn't win. Yeah. Southampton have always been a weird problem for us. But today, it's not about Southampton. It's not about any of that. It's about Arsenal. It's about the way we play. It's about these performances. As I said, we came back from the Carabao Cup disappointed. We've been defeated by Manchester City. We've got this bozo in goal, Kepa. Who thinks this is a good signing? In the summer, they're saying £5 million clapping. Oh, it's a good bargain, Premier League experienced goalkeeper. Kepa, he's crap. He's genuinely crap. Kepa stinks. What terrible goalkeeper. Like, he's so weak. There's so many issues with Kepa. I don't even know where to start. Number one, when he's in goal, the other team feel like they can just shoot. Number one, because they feel like this guy, if I hit it properly, it's gonna go in 9 times out of 10. Second of all, he is so weak in the air. Compare him to Raya. Obviously, the drop off is absolutely insane, and this is probably why we should have pushed further and signed Joan Garcia and instead of letting him go to Barca, even if he's good enough to be a one and it would have caused problems. I actually don't care. We should have signed Garcia, made him. He was happy to come be number 2 for Raya. That's what we should have done. Instead, we've left ourselves with this Bozo in goal. As I said, he's so weak, right, in the air, like collecting the ball. There's no presence, genuinely no presence, right? And to cap it off, which makes it even worse, our football, because of the way Arteta set up our team, it is actually reliant on the goalkeeper being extremely comfortable on the ball, being the one to actually sometimes set pace. Raya sets pace. Raya genuinely dictates. I don't know how to describe it, but Raya, this might be a fault of Arteta's system, but David Raya genuinely dictates the tempo of Arsenal's attacks. And Kepa completely disrupts everything. He is so shaky on the ball. He is so scared half the time that he genuinely puts fear in everyone else's hearts in our team. So for me, this guy genuinely might be the worst. Again, these Chelsea bums, Kepa, Havertz, and then there's one that came off the bench today looking like I show speed. I showed, you know, no end product, just running off the pitch every single second. I've had enough. I've had enough. Let me just read some of you guys' comments, man. Yeah, he always concedes long shots. Honestly, Kepa, you're already mentally 2-0 down if you got Kepa in your goal. This is not a player to have. No wonder we've lost, obviously, these last 2 games. And the positive is, hopefully, we never see Kepa play for Arsenal again after today. Hopefully, the Champions League and Prem, never again. Kepa, pack your bags. That is true. Like Donnarumma and Trafford are both really good. Exactly. Trafford came in. I know Trafford made some mistakes earlier on in the season, but Trafford is a modern goalkeeper. Also, he's got presence, right? Trafford is really young anyway. Of course, he was going to make mistakes, but Trafford, he's got presence. He's got size. He's good on the ball, and you could see him developing and improving each time. And obviously, they signed Donnarumma, world-class goalkeeper. Even though Donnarumma's got his faults in terms of ball playing, we know Donnarumma's not good at the back in terms of when he's got the ball, as a ball playing out at the back. We know he's not good with his feet, blah, 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 blah. But Donnarumma is a world-class shot stopper. He has got the presence and aura of a top goalkeeper. Donnarumma would have played in any era of football, and he would have been a top goalkeeper for any top team in any era of football. So that's why he's a top keeper. But Kepa, how did he make it professional? I actually don't know. I actually don't know. But then again, Unai Simon, they got him running around for Spain, and sometimes I watch him and I'm confused. I don't know what's going on in Spain. This is why I never really trust Spanish goalkeepers. Raya is the one who kind of changed my mind on the Spanish goalkeepers. But again, with Raya, if you look at his education, it's all been in England, right? He's gone Blackburn, he's gone Brentford, he's come to Arsenal. The Spanish goalkeepers 9 times out of 10, hella dodgy. And mate, I tell you, big up Ahmed in the chat as well, saying that match spun me, bro. If it spun you, imagine what it's done to me. As I said, I look crazy right now. I got my hoodie on. I feel insane. Genuinely, I feel a bit clinically insane right now talking about this team. And as I said, I don't know. I genuinely don't know how long this is going to go for. At this point, this stream we might be here for a long time at this rate. Mustafa here saying, "Trust me, Bournemouth won't be easy." You know what? We'll check the fixtures after in terms of the games. But yeah, Bournemouth. Every game we've got now is difficult. Every single game we've got now, and it's going to take the likes of Gyökeres, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, William Saliba, Gabriel. These 5 players need to carry the rest of the team because they're the only players that I think I trust in the team. So everyone else, it is what it is. But those 5, they need to carry it because, mate, the rest of the team right now is an absolute joke. 1-1, thought you man had it. Yeah, 100% at 1-1. You think Arsenal got the goal, and then to go and lose it from that point is genuinely disgraceful. Genuinely disgraceful. You better win the league, sacrifice them 2 cup final losses for Prem. Listen, we'll get to that. we have to win the Prem. We have to win the Prem. And as I said, if it wasn't for Man City and Pep Guardiola self-sabotaging, Pep Guardiola changing things up every single week, we might not have this 9-point lead. Because there was one stage of the season, if this was a normal Man City team, I think it was around January, they would have smoked us in terms of points, right? But they let us into it. They let us back into it. They dropped points against Nottingham Forest. And again, that gave us a catalyst again. So Man City themselves have a lot to. I think Man City are going to be very disappointed this season if they don't win the league, because I think they've made it very easy for Arsenal to win the league. Because, as I said, a normal Man City team, with the way Arsenal have played this season, I don't know. If we're being honest, guys, I don't know if we would do it, But let's get to the Etihad. We can't lose at the Etihad. Let's at least get a point. If we leave the Etihad with a point, then I think at that point it'll be very difficult for Man City to catch up just on pure numbers. But we need to win. We need to win the Premier League at the very least. And there's a discussion, and we'll bring it up in a few minutes, right? We'll talk about Arteta. Should he even stay? I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to put the question out here now, prematurely. Even if we win the league, does Arteta actually deserve to continue at Arsenal Football Club? If you take it all into totality, the performances from the start of the season to now, how we played when it really matters, when the pressure's got on, even in the Premier League, this is what I'm saying, even in the Premier League, when the pressure was really, really on, look at the results, right? Think about the game against Liverpool, the game against Forest that we played. We started bottling it ourselves, the game against Man United. We started bottling it, early on. The pressure was getting on top of us, and we started fumbling, right? And what happened was Man City themselves. This is what I said. Man City themselves didn't capitalize like they normally would. Instead, they started fumbling themselves. So, as I said, I think if I'm Pep Guardiola, I think if I'm a Man City player, I'll be a bit disappointed in terms of the league. But listen, if City go on to win, they've already won the Carabao Cup. They go on to win the FA Cup. Let's see what happens, in the Premier League for them. But really and truly, I think they'll take that and just move on. It's just been a transition season for them. But Arsenal Football Club, we're going to have a transition of our own. We're going to have a massive transition coming up in a second for us. So, yeah, we'll talk about it a bit more. Let me just read a few more of your comments. Kepa, number one, Kepa needs to just get out. Kepa, today, pack your bags. Genuinely, Kepa, I will pay whatever I can to help you pack, right? If you need a professional packer, listen, I'll pack your stuff. I'll come to your house. I'll pack your clothes, everything. Just leave, bro. Just leave today. Just terminate the contract. Just go. You don't need to come to training anymore. Like, the ones that, like, genuinely, there's no point, Kepa. There's no point in him coming training anymore. Just pack up your bags. Just disappear. Like, we've got, I don't know what youngsters we've got. Tommy Setford, is he around? I don't know. Whatever young goalkeeper we've got, let them play. They can be the backups if needs be. Even if Raya gets injured, I don't want to see Kepa. I'd rather see a youngster play at the end of the season. I genuinely, we're at that point. I'm at that point with him. He needs to leave, 100%. Lamens is young, United goalkeeper. He's learning, improving. Yeah, Lamens looks like a good prospect. From what I've seen, the little bits I've seen of Lamens, he does look good. But obviously, just a young goalkeeper, so we have to keep an eye on him as well. City will win the FA Cup. Yeah, City should win the FA Cup now. They've got who's left in the competition. So we've got Chelsea, we've got either West Ham or Leeds, and then Southampton. So yeah, Man City. You don't see any. If only Arsenal potentially would have been able to stop City in the FA Cup. You never know. It's a cup competition. Anything can happen. Last season, Palace in the end beat Man City, but Palace, you could see how they were playing as well. But yeah, it'll be difficult to see anyone stopping Man City in this FA Cup run. And again, even in Pep's worst season, even in Pep's transition season, he's managing to pick up some silverware and get his team ready to go again. And I don't know if Pep's going to stay at City. I don't know. That will be interesting. But Arsenal Football Club as well, we've got a decision to make. I don't care. With this manager we've got, is this a manager you want to give another 5 years to and invest again in his team, in this way of playing? The lack of ability, honestly, that I'm seeing from some of our players is genuinely frightening. The amount of money he's had to spend, the amount of transfer windows he's had, and we're at the point now where he can't complain. He can't complain saying these are not his players. These are his players. You have selected these players. If you wanted to have other attackers, you would have been able to get other attackers. You decided to buy Havertz. You decided to buy Madueke. You've decided to buy the Jesuses, the Gyökereses. This is him. You chose this. You chose this life, right? We didn't choose it for you. Again, you look at the rest of our team. I just don't know the football, the football we play. We make, you know what it is about Arsenal Football Club? We make football look difficult. That is what gets to me. We make football look genuinely difficult at times, and that's why it's refreshing when you see the likes of a Dowman who will just off the cuff do something by himself. This is beyond tactics, right? He will off the cuff. He'll beat 2-3 men. He'll turn. He'll try to create a chance, but that's just because he's good. That's just genuinely just because he's good. But the rest of the team, the Martinellis, he's running up and down, pretending that he's going to be doing something, huffing and puffing. Really and truly, he's doing nothing. He's doing absolutely nothing for us. Oh, mate, honestly. Arteta should have been sacked 4 or 5 years ago, but Edu and Garlic stuck with him. Listen, there were many points. Anyone who knows me knows there are many points I would have pulled the trigger on Arteta a long time ago. Like personally, we wouldn't have gone to this stage with this manager. That's if I was in charge 100%. Everyone knows. There's no chance Arteta would have been here until today. I'm not one of those ride or die. If it's Arteta or nothing, I care about Arteta more than Arsenal. No, I'm not one of those guys. For me, long time ago, long time ago, the 22-23 season in terms of the football looked promising, and then ever since then, the football has gone downhill, right? And we still haven't got the trophies to make up for it. So, listen, at least get me the Premier League. And then after that, obviously, the club will have to decide, do they keep Arteta or do they go in a different direction? I don't want to put out names. Like, for me, personally, I would like a manager who, is got a proven track record and plays proper attacking football. And the only person that comes to my mind who fits the bill for us, like in terms of all of that profile, would be Luis Enrique. I don't know if Luis Enrique, I don't know the situation. They said early on that he wasn't going to sign with PSG and he was going to look to leave. So if he does become available, I think that's a move that we have to make. You just go and get Luis Enrique in, right? But I'm not too sure about his situation. If he signs a new deal with PSG, that it is what it is. But at this point, I don't know. But the club's going to have to look into it. The club's definitely going to have to look into it. But yeah, let's just talk about the rest of this team a little bit because there's just so many players that have rattled me today. As I said, to start off with Havertz, just to finish off on this guy, I might do a video just all-time worst Arsenal players one day, and he's gonna be top 5. He's definitely gonna end up being top 5. This guy here, I've never seen someone who infuriates me more on the pitch than Kai Havertz, and I don't understand. I don't understand him. That's it. I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't understand Kai Havertz. End of story. Today, I'll start with Lewis Skelly as well. And again, I don't want to criticize Lewis Skelly, but I think for someone who's not been getting a lot of opportunity this season, right? Today was a day to come into the team and remind everyone why he should be playing. I don't think Lewis Skelly did that today, unfortunately. And obviously, it's hard to come in and out of the team, and I'm going to give him his slack because I know talent-wise, I know Lewis Skelly's a top player, and he just needs to be developed properly. And I don't think left-back is his position. He needs to be developed now in midfield. So I'm hoping at one stage, we'll be able to do that for Lewis Skelly. But today, I'll just say it's disappointing. You've come into the team at a time when Hincapie's not there, Calafiori's not playing. Yes, maybe you don't want to play left back, but I feel like today there was a lot of moments where he sort of let us down. And that for me was disappointing. On the other side, though, in terms of the fullbacks, Ben White, and today, that might be one of the worst performances I've seen Ben White, ever pull in an Arsenal shirt. Normally, Ben White, since we signed him, he's been Mr. Reliable, week in, week out, bombing up and down the right, contributing to play, creating chances, defensively solid. Today, genuinely disappointed to see the way he played today. That first goal we conceded, I actually don't understand how he's mistimed that header. Like, you would expect Ben White to get his head on that and clear the danger. He's missed the ball. It's gone to their attacker. He's popped it away. Easy chance for the attacker. But Ben White, it's not it's not the Ben White that we've been used to. And I think at this point anyway, it looks like he's going to leave the club in the summer. There's been talks about Everton Football Club potentially coming in for him. I'm sure there'll be other teams interested in someone like Ben White. He's still a very good player. He'll probably go to the World Cup, it seems, as well. So let's see in the next few months how his fitness develops and whether he's able to actually pick up form again. But today, terrible performance. The two centre backs, I'll start with Gabriel. And I don't know, as I said, Gabriel ended up coming off with a bit of an injury. I'm not sure what the situation is with Gabriel, and I'm hoping he's not injured because, as I said, there's 5 players that we need. It's Gabriel, Saliba, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, and Victor Gyökeres. These are the 5 players we need fit until the end of the season, right? Without those 5 players, we're going to struggle. So we need those 5 players fit, and we can go do something towards the back end of this season. But Gabriel today, I don't think it was one of his greatest games. As I said, he ended up coming off injured. Was he playing with a knock from the beginning? I don't know. But he put Mosquera under a lot of pressure as well. That defense today was not stable whatsoever. Mosquera as well, from his point of view, ended up doing, he had some good moments. For example, when their striker went in behind, right? I think Gabriel missed the header. It ended up going over the top. Mosquera's recovery run was really, really good. But again, if I come back to that chance, right, this guy here is a bozo. Kepa is a genuinely, you're not a real human being. Genuinely, you're not a real human being. This guy the guy literally just gave up. Kepa, the goalkeeper, instead of standing big and strong, the guy literally just fell over. If that striker was smart enough and just shot, he would have scored. But he decided to carry on, and that gave Mosquera a chance to obviously snuff that chance out. But genuinely, Kepa at that moment, again, when he did that, my head was gone. My head was somewhere else because this guy is not real. I actually don't think he's a real human being. But Mosquera, on that moment alone, he looked really good. He did his job, and I'm not going to complain. But in general, the whole defense today was shaky. And is it shaky because there's no balance, or was it shaky because, let's say, the midfield today was not midfielding? So in the first half, you got Norgard. I think he was all right. And I think Odegaard as well. To be honest, Odegaard first half looked good in my eyes. I know he missed that chance. You used to call it the ozone, where you cut it back and Odegaard finishes it off. You used to call that the ozone. That ozone is finished. I don't know what happened to my brother, but yeah, it's not happening anymore. But Odegaard in general did look good today. But the problem is, and this is why we had no balance, and this is probably why our defense was getting there was a lot of transitions, a lot of long balls, a lot of route one, and we couldn't cope with it. And it's obviously because Declan Rice is not in there. But also when Havertz is just doing, God knows what Havertz is doing, it's like playing with 10 men. So you got Norgard and Odegaard, and then Odegaard most of the time, obviously he's on this right-hand side pocket. He's trying to do creative, whatever he's trying to do. Sometimes it doesn't work out. There was a moment again which really frustrated me, which Odegaard does do sometimes. He does this heavy through ball. He does this heavy. Sometimes he does it like 2 times a game. He'll do this through ball that just goes off the pitch, and I'm just like, what's going on, bro? Like, come on, like, what's going on? But apart from that, I thought he looked okay. He's someone that we're going to need as well, like going forward. If Eze, of course, this is another thing. Eze not being fit is a problem, right? Because Eze is a game changer. Gyökeres is a game changer. Saka's a game changer. Odegaard, unfortunately, he's not really a game changer, but he can contribute to the tempo and the momentum of the team. But Odegaard himself doesn't actually change games. And this is what worries me. If Eze is not fit, right, Nwaneri's obviously on loan. Dauman, is he going to be the one who's we're going to rely on to change games? The kid's 16. I don't think we can rely on Dauman to change games every single week, right? So Odegaard, the onus is going to be on him to change games, to be that guy. And I don't think that's in his locker. So hopefully, Eze gets fit soon. But in general, I don't mind Odegaard. If everyone else is fit, Odegaard can be a functional player for us. He's a good football player. That's you can't deny that. Odegaard's a really good football player. He can dictate the tempo. But in terms of changing a game for us, it's going to be difficult. But yeah, in terms of this midfield, the lack of balance in there, in terms of when we didn't have the ball, really did cause an issue for this defense. And this defense as well, it's not like they're the quickest defense. So Ben White isn't the quickest of players. Lewis Skelly, he isn't a great defender by any stretch of the imagination. Gabriel, a lot of pressure on him, and then Mosquera. And that for me today is probably why we suffered quite a bit. And then on top of that, right, I'm saying Havertz, he's offering us nothing. We're playing with 10 men. This guy here is finished, right? Jesus is done. We need to stop even including him in the squad. Like, I'm not trying to like. Listen, I like Jesus. I don't know. I listened to some of the clips. Jesus, he's doing interviews with Rio Ferdinand midway through the season, talking about our mentality. And if we win one trophy now, we win the Premier League, we can go on and do that. Brother, what? I'm not gonna lie. I didn't complain at the time, but why are we doing these interviews midway through the season? Number one, yeah, he's acting like he's not even part of the squad, but you're part of the squad. And then anyway, forget about all of that. Jesus, his general play, his play style today, like what is he doing? There was one moment he's gone all the way, because he's getting bored. He's not touching the ball, he's not winning anything, he's got no pace. He can't really do anything. He's gone all the way back. He's gone next to Kepa. He's won the ball, but then he smashed it into Dalman. Luckily, Dalman has got composure. He's managed to control the ball. He's giving it back to Jesus, and Jesus managed to get out of that situation. But genuinely, apart from that, I don't remember Jesus doing much, right? Every time he got the ball in a somewhat dangerous position, he'd just lose the ball. He would just lose the ball. And for me, I don't know why. Why are we including this brother in our squads anymore? We need to stop. We need to stop. Honestly, we need to stop. What's his comment saying? Not even Easter can save Jesus. One of the craziest fights. What fight's going on now? What's the fights going? Listen, I'm so locked out of boxing, MMA. I don't even know what's going on anymore. I'll be real. My head's kettled. Arsenal have kettled me. But yeah, bring me in the comments, man. Bring me in. What's going on? I actually don't know. I don't know. Arsenal, this is what they do to you. This is what they do to you. I'm not following. I'm not following anything else, honestly. But yeah, Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, this team is genuinely it's a psychotic team to support. But anyway, you look at our bench today, right? And I want to make a comment again about this guy, Noni Madueke, right? How much money did we spend on Madueke? Oh wait, let me not get Wilder Chisora. Okay, I wasn't familiar. That sounds like a good fight like 8 years ago. I don't know. These are what I'm saying. Boxing, any new characters is always the same. It's always the same names. They need to find some new blood. But I think this makes sense. I saw a little something about Chisora today, so it makes sense that he's fighting. Sometimes you don't make the connection. But yeah, I'll have a little look later. I'll see the highlights and that. But yeah, I've not been locked into boxing for a minute. I'm not even gonna lie. Not even. I think the last fight I watched must have been Usyk or something like that. But yeah, anyway, back to Arsenal Football Club. Madueke. Genuinely Madueke. This signing here is to the point of why. We could have signed Semenyo. We could have signed a proper left winger. We've ended up wasting our money on Noni Madueke. This guy genuinely offers nothing. We would have been better off this season letting Ranieri play, even if it's not his position. We would have been better off letting Ranieri play right wing, which he did. Was it last season whenever Saka got injured, Ranieri was playing right wing, he was looking really good. We would have been better off just letting one of our own play that position who's got the talent, who we know is a top player, instead of wasting, was it 60 something? I don't even know how much money, is stupid amount of money on the likes of Noni Madueke. He comes on the pitch every time and he's he's running with the ball. Oh, let's get excited. Noni Madueke is about to do something. And then the ball goes out of the pitch every single time. Nothing comes out of what he does. And this is what I said when he was at Chelsea. There was 2 players in the Premier League who I said have the lowest IQs in terms of wingers that I've ever seen. Madueke was one of them. The other one was called Garnacho at Man United when he was playing for United. I said these 2 are the dumbest wingers I've ever seen. And Madueke, time and time again, proves it to me. he has not improved. And I don't see how you can't just download Football IQ. And this is the problem. This is why even Nicolas Pepe, when we signed him for £72 million or whatever, that's why he never worked out at Arsenal Football Club. Because Pepe didn't have the football IQ of a Bukayo Saka. And that's why he couldn't play for a team like Arsenal. Madueke, listen, he's got the physical attributes, but if your brain can't keep up with what your body is doing, what's the point? Genuinely, what is the point? So again, a player that I am bamboozled by. I don't understand. I don't understand him. The other players, obviously, Saliba's Zubamendi. I've said many things about him this season, but we don't even have midfielders for me to complain. We don't even have. This is another problem. We don't even have enough midfielders, right? So obviously, in the summer, we've been linked to the likes of Tonali. We've been linked to the likes of Elliot Anderson. We've been linked to how do you say his name? Bouadi, the French Morocco. I don't even know what team he's gonna or what country he's gonna play for in the summer. But yeah, we've been linked to a lot of midfielders, right? And it's frankly because this is what we end up with without Declan Rice and Zubamendi. This is what we end up with. You end up with Norgard, you end up with Odegaard, but then you don't. Who's the third midfielder? Oh, just throw Havertz in there. Marino's not fit. Noneri's not there. You end up with there's not enough balance in the squad. The squad balance is actually broken right now. And this is why, despite us supposedly at the time going for a quadruple, this is why we're due for a proper rebuild. So if we go through the squad, actually, let's do that quickly. The amount of players, and we'll talk about Arteta. For me, long story short, guys, I'm not even going to drag it out today. Arteta, he might have to go, right? And I have no issues with him going. I think we pay him about £15 million a year. The money we pay for the football we see doesn't make any sense, right? So for me, if we can get rid and if we can get in a Luis Enrique, go and do it, right? But obviously, I don't want to say it depends on the manager that comes in, but Arteta, for me, I'm not a fan of his project. And I feel like Arteta's done what he can with this team, with this club. I feel like Arteta's rinsed it to the point where, yeah, we're not going to get much more. We're not going to get much more out of him. I don't really see an evolution in Arteta's style of play. I don't see an evolution in Arteta's thinking. I think 7-8 years at the club, I think this is what Arteta is. And listen, if you can get us one Premier League, cool. Pack your bags, move on. Let's get a new manager in. And then at that point, honestly, I think everyone leaves happy. We leave saying, Arteta, we gave him time. He got us a Premier League in the end. Arteta can leave saying, listen, I struggled through it. I managed to turn the club around. I got them the Premier League and I left. I think, honestly, end of the season will be the best time probably to cut ties. And Arteta can move on, have a career with other clubs, maybe go to Spain, maybe go to, who knows? He could go, I'd imagine with his reputation that he's built at Arsenal, many clubs would love to take Mikel Arteta, so he can go to other clubs. But for Arsenal Football Club, I genuinely think end of the season, we get rid of him, he moves on, everyone's happy. Win the Premier League, though. That is the stipulation here. You need to win the league. As long as we win the league, then this little break, I think it's going to be at the best time. So for me, that's my opinion on the manager. Obviously, David Raya, I'll keep him obviously for next season, and I would sign. However, I would sign a goalkeeper who I think can play number one as well, like as in can really compete with him. I don't care what kind of issues that could cause. I would genuinely try find a goalkeeper who's on the level, or if not better than David Raya. Try and find someone like that in the market. If you can, get them in. Kepa, you gotta go, bro. You gotta go. Sayonara. Setford, obviously just a kid. No issues with him. Ben White, sayonara. It is what it is. Hopefully we can get some decent money for Ben White. Pack your bags and see ya. Urian Timber. Of course, Timber for me, I would keep him. No questions there. Saliba, Mosquera, Gabriel, I would keep all three, so we'll just move on. Marley Salmon, again, just a young player. You can send him on loan or play in the academy, is what it is. Hincapi would keep him. Calafiori, I would keep him. I know there's been reports about Calafiori potentially leaving Arsenal Football Club. There's been talks about even Chelsea being interested in him, and I've seen teams in Italy saying they want him. But again, Calafiori is a player that I would keep. And I know some people will say his injury issues, if you get a big offer for Calafiori, it could be tempting. That's what I would say. Despite his talent, despite how good Calafiori is, because of some of the injury issues, if you're getting a 60, 70 million pound offer for him, potentially it's something to think about just because his position is not a hard position for us to recruit for, to be totally honest. But I do like Calafiori. So as I said, for me, it would take a big offer for me to think about moving him on, even though he's not been here that long. I do like him, and I genuinely think he's got top potential, but some of his injury concerns and all of those kind of things potentially means that if we do get a big offer, I wouldn't be 100% opposed to him, going, if that makes sense. Continue here, Lewis Skelly. For me, 100% stay for next season, but I want to see him playing in midfield. So we talk about not having midfield options. Lewis Skelly is an internal option to play in midfield. He is a midfielder. He is not a left back anyway. So let's get Lewis Skelly into the midfield for next season, and then let's see what he can do from that point. So I need to see that happen. Norgard, for me, moving on. If you get an offer, I don't even know how long his contract is. Yeah, Norgard can go. Like, is what it is. Like, we even just signed him just to fill the numbers. So yeah, Norgard can go. Zubimendi, is what it is. I'm not the biggest fan of Zubimendi, but I don't see anyone coming in with 70 million pounds for him. So if someone comes with 70 million pounds for Zubimendi, you can have him. Like, in my opinion, I don't see what Zubimendi has done this season for me to be like, oh my God, he's indispensable. We can't let him go. Someone comes in, Real Madrid, for example. You always see Madrid reports saying, oh, they really like Martin Zubimendi. I've seen Xavi talking about Zubimendi, saying that, they wish Barcelona signed him. Listen, if you guys love him so much, give us 80 million pounds and I'll send him to you tomorrow. So, as I said, it just depends on the money. If no one's offering that money, I've got no issue with Zubimendi being on the bench and being a squad player. But I don't want to see Zubimendi next season being a starter. That's for sure. I think I've seen enough of Zubimendi to know, in my opinion, I need someone way better than him to play next to Declan Rice next season. And then he can be third man in midfield, covering Rice or Zubimendi or the other midfielder if they need rest. Odegaard, very interesting. So now this is where it gets interesting with Odegaard, right? Odegaard is a debate in the Arsenal sphere of things. I think if we can get an offer of 80 million pounds around that region for Odegaard, there is a very good discussion in terms of letting him go. Even though Odegaard is a good player, as we discussed earlier, he's a good player. He's reliable. You know what the thing about Odegaard, even if he's got his shortcomings, you know what Odegaard is going to offer you every single game. You know what he can do. You know what his skill sets are. He can dictate the tempo. He can run games, to be honest, right? But is he a game changer? Is he a player who's got that real magic about him, like in Eze, in my opinion? Eze's got that magic about him where Eze can turn a game by himself, boof, score a goal. Odegaard hasn't got that factor in him, but he's a very, very competent midfielder. And I think, honestly, you could see an Odegaard playing for PSG or Bayern Munich, and you could see him doing really well. So there's a discussion there where if a big offer comes in, you let him go. But if that offer doesn't come in, then of course, Odegaard, there's no point, obviously, wasting your time trying to get rid of Odegaard. You just keep him because, as I said, he's a good player, he's functional, and he offers us something interesting in the midfield. But yeah, big offer again, just like Calafiori. So this is the thing. I think this summer, Arsenal Football Club, we have to be open to these discussions. We have to be open to having some of these players who potentially we know, yes, they can start for us. But if the offer comes in and we can get better, we let them go. Calafiori is one of them. He's really good. But if we get a big offer, it might be worth letting him go. Odegaard, he's on that same level. Really good player, but for what we really need to take us to the next level, is this a time to cash in? Potentially, you get that question with Martin Odegaard. Mikel Merino, for me, again, this is the thing. It's not realistic that all of these guys are going to go. I'm just telling you who, if I could, they could disappear. Merino, I do like him. I think Merino Listen, Marino compared to Havertz is like night and day. Marino, yeah, he can't really play midfield sometimes. Sometimes he looks terrible midfield, sometimes he looks okay. But you know what it is about Marino? He's got a football brain. He's technically actually sound at the game. And when you played him up front, MM9, you guys know about MM9, Mikel Marino, striker, serious player. So Marino's a bit of a weird one because there's not really a market for him. And he's just one of those players that can just fill in. I don't mind seeing a Marino stay, actually, when I think about it. Like, if you get a good offer for Marino, yeah, get rid of him. Even if you get like a £35 million offer for Marino, yeah, to be honest, at his age, you could probably just let him go. 29 years old, I'd imagine we could squeeze another few years out of him. He's not blessed with pace or anything. I think he's a player that could play 4 or 5 years. I could even see him playing. To be honest, actually, Marino is a player I could see playing in like Serie A for like 7 years. If you send him now to Serie A, he could play for 7 years right now. So Marino's one of those players. I think there will be clubs interested in him. But again, is it going to be the level of money that actually makes sense of getting rid of him? So I'm happy for him to stay just as a option in the squad, come off the bench, score a header, that kind of thing. He's got that in his locker. Declan Rice, of course, like Saliba, Gabriel, obviously stay. Dalman stay. Eze stay. Saka stay. Madueke. I'm selling Madueke right now. If any of you guys don't know anyone with £40 million, even £40 million, that's all we need. £40 million, we take the loss. You can have Madueke. So £40 million. Any takers? There you go. Take him. So yeah, Madueke, off you pop. Martinelli, same. So Martinelli, mate, £60 million. Go. £50 million. One eye's open. I'm considering £40 million. I don't know, but in this market, to be totally honest, right? If you look at the players like Elanga who've gone, how much did Elanga go for? Let me check. Elanga transfer fee to Newcastle. Elanga. So his transfer fee was £55 million. So if Elanga was £55 million, okay, £60 million for Martinelli, Champions League proven, a lot of pace, Brazil international, £60 million. That's what I'm looking for Martinelli. And hopefully maybe someone offers us that. He's been linked to Saudi Arabia a few times as well. I don't know if Martinelli would be interested in going to Saudi Arabia. I'm not sure. At this age, I don't think Martinelli would want to go to Saudi, but they have been reported to offer us about 80, 90 million pounds for him. If we got offered that, I'm forcing him to go Saudi. It's one of those ones, bro. Just pack your bags and go. Trossard's another player. I wanted him gone last season, so it's not going to change this summer. Trossard, anyone, £10 million. Genuinely, £10 million. You can have Trossard. It is what it is. Jesus, I don't think we're getting even £1 for Jesus at this point. Yeah, that's a bit of a suspicion. Jesus, we terminate the contract. Yeah, no problem. I think that's what's going to happen, to be totally honest. I'll be surprised. Let me check. Let me check how long has Jesus got on his contract to Arsenal Football Club. If I'd go Transfermarkt, I don't think Jesus is going to have that long left on his contract. So yeah, it's saying Jesus' contract expires in 2027. So next year. Yeah, I don't see us getting much money for him. I think we're going to have to terminate his contract at this point, or maybe he goes out on loan. But there's no point. I'd rather us just come to an agreement and just cut up his contract. Gyökeres can stay. Is what it is. And Havertz disappear. Genuinely, Havertz, £11 million. I'm giving it £10 million. Terminate. I'm at that stage with Havertz, but obviously, if I'm being serious and I'm Andrea Berta, there probably is a market for Kai Havertz. Maybe in Germany, maybe a Spanish team, an Italian team, depending if they've got the budget. I could see Havertz maybe leaving Arsenal for 35, 40 million pounds. It just depends. I don't know if his wages are insane, and he's talking about wanting to stay at Arsenal Football Club. Arteta, this is the problem. I feel like Arteta is deluding some of these players into thinking they're good enough to be here. And Havertz, you're not good enough to be here. So for me, offer him to Leverkusen, go back home, offer him to Bayern Munich, man. Maybe they'll take him. You never know. German international, you know, was a top talent when he was in the Bundesliga. Big name, Champions League winner, Kai Havertz. Bayern Munich, do you want him? Leverkusen, Dortmund. One of you guys, take him. Take Havertz, take him back to Germany. Someone. Juventus, do you want him? Inter, he could play. I could see him at Inter Milan. One of you guys, come on, Atletico Madrid. Do you guys want Kai Havertz? We have to be now knocking on doors. I think this out of all the players in our team, right? Havertz is the one player we need to knock on other teams' doors every day and just keep offering him to other. Someone will buy it. Someone will take him from us. 100%. It's just keep knocking on everyone's doors. Do you want Havertz? No? Okay, we move on to that. But then come back. Do you want him again? I've got a discount. Just get rid of him. Get rid of him. So out of all of these players, right, that I've put here, how many have we said need to go? So Kepa's 1. Ben White's 2. We've got Norgard 3. Odegaard, as I said. Odegaard and Calafiori, it's I'm not going to add them to the numbers, so we'll keep it at 3 players. But Calafiori and Odegaard, it really depends on the offer. If we get big offers for them, and as I said, for Calafiori, it's a bit different. It's not because I don't rate him. I really do rate Calafiori. It's more about his injury concerns, how robust he is, how reliable he is, like long term. I'm not sure. So if you can get a big offer for him, take it, because he's playing in a position where, to be honest, maybe we need a different look in terms of a left back. Maybe we need a more attacking left back, right? We've got Hincapi who can play the role. So maybe Calafiori, we don't need him as much. But then again, Calafiori can play centre back. So that's what I said. It's a bit of a weird one. I think anything over £70 million for Calafiori, you have to start thinking about it. And the same goes for Odegaard. Big offer, right? Good player, offers us a lot, but is he a game changer? I don't think so. So yeah, if we get a big offer for Odegaard, I'm thinking about it. So that's a different list for these guys, but 3 players so far to sell. We've got Madueke here. I've said, of course, get rid of him. So that's 4. Martinelli's 5. Trossard is 6. Jesus is 7. And Havertz is 8. So at least 8 players to get rid of. I think that's not that bad. I actually think that's not that bad. And a lot of the players I've said to get rid of are the attacking players. So the Havertz, the Jesus, the Trossard, the Martinelli, the Madueke. That's 5 players already. So we need a revamp in the attack massively. We need new blood in the attack. We need some new midfielders as well coming in. We need someone to play next to Declan Rice. I don't think Zubamendi is that guy. I think Zubamendi could be a good squad player, right, for us. But it's that attack, to be honest, that we're looking for. Let me read some of your comments here. I said, Juju. The annual bottle job tradition is underway. Best time of the year for us rivals. And you know what? I'm going to keep this comment here for a second. Because Arsenal Football Club, what irks me the most with this team is that not only do they disappoint us fans, but they keep proving the rivals right. I can't even get angry at this statement, right? Right now, the rivals are right. The annual bottle job. We've lost the Carabao Cup. We're out of the FA Cup. We've still got the Premier League to play for. But I can't even get rattled by these comments anymore because it's true. Every single season, we're doing the same thing. We're on for a quadruple. Obviously, listen, it would have been historic and never seen before if a quadruple happened. Okay, fair enough. But it's just the manner of the defeats. You lose to Southampton. You lose to a City team that are not really in the best way right now. You're just losing. You're not even fighting for the games. That's the thing. It's just terrible. The manner of the defeat as well is what adds to it. So for me, honestly, I can't even get mad. Ahmed says here, Julian Brandt is on a free this summer. Oh, listen, today the goal by Julian Brandt. What a player. Yeah, I've always been a fan of Brandt. Whether he's, 5-6 years ago, I would have bit your hand off, mate. I would have bit your hand off for him. But he can stay at Dortmund. Yeah, we've moved past. The Husamawa, the Julian Brandt, that was a long time ago. We have left that station. But yeah, honestly, technical wise or his technical ability, oof, when he gets it right, the shoot, oh mate, he's a joke. Sometimes he's a joke, honestly. Humble King says here, the players Arsenal should sell this summer: Ben White, Odegaard, Havertz, Norgard, Zubimendi, Trossard, Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli. So 8 players. So yeah, exactly, very similar to what I've ended up saying. So yeah, 8, 9 players. I think that's what we should be looking at getting rid of this summer. And then, as I said, on top of that, if you're getting an offer, there's some players on the periphery of, yes, they can definitely start for us, but we might have a few concerns about them. As I said, e.g. Calafiori, very, very good player. But if we get a £80 million bid for Calafiori, would we be stupid to say no to that? We might have to just accept that and just move on, because it's not really a position where it's changing much for us, I would say. But that's just me playing devil's advocate in a way and just thinking a little bit more. But in terms of overall, 100%, at least 8 players to get rid of this summer. I agree with that 100%. Ahmed here says Havertz. I can't say that, but yeah, Havertz and Julian Brandt. Yeah, they just call them best friends. Actually, best friends. Uh, we at Chelsea have a fantastic backup for Raya. He's another Spanish magnifico named Robert Sanchez. We're always happy to do business with Arsenal. Yeah, I think Chelsea Football Club. I don't know. I've said it. Normally, I do the streams with Julian as well. We've said it. I think there's a conspiracy between Arsenal's owners and Chelsea's owners. I feel like Arsenal's owners have signed something with the Chelsea owners to help them out, because if you look at the losses that Chelsea have had, I think this year is the most. It's the most ever out of any club ever, right? So Chelsea are just breaking all sorts of the wrong records at this moment in time. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised in the summer. I would not be surprised in the summer you see Arsenal bidding for a Chelsea player. 70, like, it's probably guaranteed at this point. It pains me. It genuinely pains me, but I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all. But yeah, let's have a quick look, guys. Our fixtures coming up as well, and see what we've got to look forward to, if that's even a word for us to enjoy. So yeah, we've got Sporting next in the Champions League. So the games are coming thick and fast. And guys, we are playing the Champions League after what? After that Carabao Cup and then this, right? The atmosphere right now, it's low. It's low, but obviously we'd hope the likes of Declan Rice are fit. Saka's going to play. The full first team, Timber. Is Timber even fit? I'm not even sure. I feel like Timber's injured. But anyway, a lot of our players that didn't play today obviously will feature against Sporting. But again, with the performances that we're putting in, this is not going to be an easy game. The only difference is with the Champions League games compared to the games we've been playing domestically, the pace of the Champions League games it's a little bit easier for us to handle. It feels like it feels a little bit easier to handle. And obviously, Sporting, we got put on the side of the draw where you're not playing against PSG or you're not playing against Bayern Munich. So listen, we are heavy favourites, obviously, for this game, despite everything. But again, it won't be easy. It won't be an easy game. Obviously, Gyökeres is going back to his old club as well. So something else just to add to it. But yeah, that'll be a big game for us. And hopefully we come out this game, minimum don't lose away from home, and then you take it back home. I know it's Sporting and everyone be like, oh, let's win, win, win. And I'm of that opinion as well. I'd love us to win. But yeah, listen, if we can just get a draw and come back home, I won't be too mad. Honestly, at this stage, my head's gone, so I wouldn't even mind that. I'll take that. But then the big game now. So despite the Champions League, the Premier League is so mad. Like, we put ourselves in this weird position now. The pressure's even more than before. But anyway, we've got Bournemouth in the Premier League at home. You'd expect us to win, but we've seen it. Bournemouth are a good team. If you look at Bournemouth's last few games, right? They haven't even lost in a minute. Last game against Manchester United. Let's have a look. This kid here is a problem, by the way. This kid here, Ryan, at Bournemouth, keep an eye on him. I think maybe not this summer, but the summer after, I think he's going to get a big move. So this kid is a problem. You look at the very, very good player. Evan Nilsson up front, for me, a really good striker. If you saw Evan Nilsson, was it a few years ago, Arsenal played Porto in the Champions League and he was giving us hell. he was giving us hell. So he's a good player. I do like the look of him. Yeah, but in general, obviously they play good football. We know what Bournemouth are about. They always have players on the bench as well that can do stuff. Krupi is another player in there. David Brooks, another player that I've always been a big fan of. Ben Doak, formerly of Liverpool. So yeah, listen, they've got players. They have got players, and they've got a really good manager. They play very proactive football. They're fun to watch. So it's not going to be an easy game. They're not going to just sit there hoping that we don't score. They're going to be trying to hurt us at the same time. But yeah, you come to our next games after that. Let's have a look. So we got Sporting again, and then Etihad. So honestly, I know Newcastle and Fulham, so that's another run of games. But this run of games now, these 4 games, could make or break our season. This is do or die now. So we need to come out of these games pretty much winning all of them. And I would say at the Etihad, if we can get to that game, 3 wins in a row, get to the Etihad and just don't lose. Like, I want to go there with a mentality of let's win, let's win, let's win. But we're at that stage now. We're 9 points clear in the league. Beat Bournemouth. Obviously, just continue our league at the top. But just don't die against Man City. Don't give them anything. Don't give them a sniff. That is the main thing. We don't want to give Man City a sniff towards the back end of the season, the last few games. You don't want to give that to them. So next 4 games, guys, I think, we're going to be in for a really, 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 really stressful watch. That's what I would say. Because my head today finished. But yeah, let's see these next 4 games. And then from there, if we can get past that, you got the Newcastle, Fulham, West Ham, obviously the Champions League games as well. And then, we've only got a few games left. So, guys, we're in the final innings. So, it's just about this. Get past these 4 games. And then from there, we should be okay to at least pick up minimum the Premier League. Champions League, who knows? We have to just pray for that one. If we get the Champions League this season somehow, mate, I'll tell even more incentive for me just to pack your bags. It's not going to get better than that for you. Just pack your bags. But anyway, guys, I think I'll leave it there for today. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. As always, make sure to tell a friend. More and more streams are coming onto this channel. Today, genuinely, was just a solo one with me. I think tomorrow we'll do another stream. Me and Julian will just talk about Arsenal and everything going on with the club. React to a few things, obviously, from tonight and then into tomorrow as well. I'm sure we're going to have a few things coming out of Arsenal Football Club as well. But yeah, guys, it's been a decent stream. To be honest, it was actually well needed. I've taken away some of my anger and my frustration onto the stream. So, Arsenal, stop disappointing us. You keep disappointing us. You're giving the rival fans more fuel every single day. We need to see better. And these next 4 games, it's make or break. But anyway, guys, I'll leave it there for today. And as I said, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And